and welcome to the Salsa Lovers Lounge. With me today, I have an award-winning author, Hector LaForce. I meant to ask you that beforehand because I said LaForce. I said could be French like LaForce, yes. But I wasn't sure. But the correct pronunciation?
Yes, LaForce.
LaForce.
Oh,
there we go. LaForce. Parlez-vous français? It's an honor to have you here today on our show. VD was going to do the interview today. Unfortunately, he couldn't do it. So I'm going to wing it today because I haven't been on the show for quite a while. And I'm just honored to have you here today. And we'd like to know a little bit more about your book. You have it bilingual in English and in Spanish. So we do have viewers in Spanish that don't speak English. So we're going to do a little bit of Spanish and English for those viewers, okay?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself first.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here. I know we tried to coordinate this a long time ago.
Yes.
And, I'm out in Florida, so it got a little difficult. And so now that I'm here, I'm, trying to make all these stops. So I'm glad at the last minute you were able to see me. So again, my name is Hector LaForce. I am an award-winning author, Latino at that. Que no somos mucho, pero que my books are titled No Regrets, The Journey. And that's in Spanish as well, Un Camino Sin Lamentos. That's the new Spanish version of No Regrets, The Journey. We have this also. I just finished the audiobook just recently. And we're into the third edition.
That's great.
So the book that I brought you, it's the first edition. That is the raw and uncut version. Raw and uncut. No Regrets, The Journey. So I brought these books for you, Margaret, so that you can give them away to the audience. I don't know how you want to do that, but if you wanted to do, there was some free books here. The cover on the actual new edition, it's a little different, white lettering, and but this is the raw edition. The new one is a little cleaner, more spiritual. But this is about the mask and the secrets. This is the story. This is my story, by the way. This is a real story about a secret. That secret set the tone for what was to happen to me the upcoming 3 decades. So I didn't get a chance, I held this so deep inside that it actually tore me apart. The experience I had actually shattered my world. I mean, into a million pieces, Margaret, I gotta tell you. So what I did was I held it inside all those years because I was ashamed, I was embarrassed, and I was scared. I didn't know how to talk about my feelings because en casa, todo lo que pasa, if you're Latino, you know, lo que pasa aquí no se dice en ningún lado, But, it didn't happen in my house, but there was a lot of abuse actually going on with my father, physical abuse, and myself. But the experience, what happened is that it confused my little world. So what I did was I put myself into this illusion, into this little fantasy world where I created a little bubble around me and no one else could come in. And that was my way of protecting me from anyone ever hurting me. But what happened is that in that process, which I told you about the mask, I began wearing the mask, right? So the mask was to hide behind my true identity, right? We wear different masks.
Right.
You heard that terminology,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So what happened is that I learned to wear this mask and I started to believe I wanted to be somebody else other than myself. I didn't want to be me. I was miserable. I was unhappy. I was in a lot of pain. So I thought that if I pretended to be someone else, I would be okay. But what happened in that process is that I acted the role of the character that I envisioned myself to be. And so in that process, I actually practiced it so often in my upbringing that I actually became that character. And so I no longer now believed it. I was it. And that character was a mean guy. That character was the gangster that I talk about in my book. You know, that character was not the pleasant person that my God intended me to be. But it took me a long time. And the way I did this was I had to find courage. I had to pray, because now I got a God in my life, right? So I learned, you know, how to deal with these things. And so I had to pray. So 3 years ago, I wrote the book. And that secret, I held that secret for 45 years. And so you know what happened to me all those years? Read the book and you'll understand some things. My world was totally upside down. My thinking was not a rational thinking. I was an angry, explosive, very reactive person. So in other words, everybody was wrong because I was rebellious. I wanted to get even with the world, and I was still in that illusion, and it became all about me. But in the process, I suffered, and I suffered, and I lost. I ended up in places that were not very pleasant, and I talk about those experiences in my book. But the point I'm making is that it didn't happen until I decided to free myself by writing the book, because I was so sick within me. I was so toxic. I was poisoned. I mean, I looked good. I smelled good. I had the money. I had the jewelry, but...
What brought you to that realization?
That's a great question, Margaret. I got so tired of being a fake. I got so tired of wearing that mask. I was in so much pain, and it didn't stop. And then now I was running with law enforcement. I live in Florida, so I became a community leader.
Wow.
Right?
Great.
I got involved in politics, so I got all the politicians coming to me for my leadership, for their votes, because I was putting on these big events. And so they said, well, you know what, Hector, you know, and so they had to use me in order to get the votes from that entire area, from that community. So, because I became a bounty hunter,
Oh,
right?
yes. That's interesting. I was
Yeah.
going to ask you about that.
And so now I'm running with law enforcement. I felt like I was living a lie. I was scared. I was pretending still.
Wow.
And in Florida, nobody knew me. So my fear was, if only they knew me. So I was stuck in that fear. And then one day I said, you know, I can't live this way no more. You know, I just couldn't do this. I was afraid of somebody finding me out. And I'm being this guy, and everybody loved him, and you know, I was the man. Right?
So before they exposed you, you exposed yourself.
That's what I decided to do. So I dropped the bomb. I'm telling you, I literally dropped the bomb where everybody's jaw fell. But I had rather do that than for you to go around and start talking and whispering, and then everybody else finds out that I was a fraud. So I told on myself. And that's when I developed the freedom. That's when I said, hell with it. It doesn't matter no more what you think of me. It's what I think of myself.
You wiped that slate clean.
Wiped it clean. So, and what I tell people is, judge me for who I am, not for who I was. Because if you see who I was, you wouldn't like me, or you'd be afraid of me. And so I wanted to change. It was too much, too many years. You know, the suffering, the pain, the isolation, and it was just too heavy on my spirit. Too heavy.
I gotta say, I'm very proud of you. I don't know you. I just met you today, but I know of you, and I think it's a cleanse you did, and that really, you know, is very admirable that you could come out and tell everybody your past, write about it. You know, we all have demons, but not everyone admits to them. And it's a good thing you're doing, because, you know what, there's a lot of other people in the situation you were in, and there's hope for them. And you're basically you're showing them that there is hope. And I'm just so proud of you for doing this. And this is helping a lot of people, not just yourself. And you did say that you came to God. Was that at your most lowest point in your life?
It was one of the lowest points of my life. Not the lowest, but one of them. Because this took a lot. This drained me, to like, wow, I gotta tell on myself. I've never been that honest in my life. But I've been practicing how to be honest throughout, the last 21 years. I've been on this journey because I've been in recovery. So, and the therapeutic help that was giving me started to guide me into, self-revelation, to being okay, to like going to God. I'm not a religious guy. I'm just a spiritual being now, because it was God that told me it's okay. Let it go, kid. Let it go. Free yourself. And so through meditation and prayer is where I found that courage. But you talked about the hope. This is an inspirational story of hope. This is what this is all about. The hope. And I get it all the time, how my story helped change. I was on another radio station a few days ago, guys. A few days ago, right? And I'm with my bodyguard and my chauffeur here.
Louis and
Jose.
Jose.
Yeah. So it was, and these guys are the guys that helped me through this whole process. These are the go-to guys, right? That when I have an issue, these are the guys that help me get through the other side. But the book is actually helping so many people. I'm just like mind blown of the testaments that I'm getting. And my first book signing was on the Norwegian cruise line. And I ran into so many people there, and it says, oh my God, you are. And I felt so awkward because I don't feel that important,
You are now.
I just wrote my story, and it's resonating with so many people. And where I go, it's like, oh, that's, I said, yeah, I'm trying to stay so humble because it's actually coming a lot. But I'm getting it, how my story not only helped change their lives, but they've given this book to their children. And they also a living testament to how strong. The book is deep.
Yeah.
The book is really, really powerful. And it's a page turner. This is that kind of book that,
you want to keep reading and reading the next chapters.
I want to say this, right? Because people ask me, so what makes your story different? The story is different from the average stories out there because of the message that it has and how it's written. It's raw. It's straight to the point. It's not about, I put on my best cologne, I put on my suit, my Armani, and it was a beautiful day outside, and, I'm going for a walk. No, this is not that kind of story. This is get to the point, hardcore, revelation, page turner, and it's helped a lot of people. So it is a different story.
It's actually your testimony.
It's my testimony.
You ran the streets of New York. You were a gangbanger, right?
Yeah. I come from group homes, gangs, shootouts. I don't want to mention everything here, like that deep stuff, because again, I don't want to,
give it all away.
Not just give it away. I don't want to incriminate myself either, right? Because that there's like a statute of limitation for some things that not, don't expire. But yeah, I come from that era, and the drug game, club scene, and institutions and jails. I spent a lot of my life in prison.
Jail, okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of clubs and stuff, the book is full of club scenes and music from back in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. Will it be in the movie as well?
Well, yeah, gotta be, because listen, that was one of the most electrifying time of my life.
All the New Yorkers
Yeah,
You know those scenes, those clubs, but we got a lot of baby boomers that are from that era, and they're
Right.
still around, and they still want to hear about it, and they love talking about it. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look,
it's a good read, people.
it comes from the disco to the Latin hustle to the salsa to the rap. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of places, a lot of clubs, that I mentioned the other day, from the Ipanema, Contiki, the ballroom, the Grand Ballroom, Studio 54, and on, the Coso, Chess and Soir,
You were raised in New York. Were you born there?
I was born in New York. I was born actually in Brooklyn. I come from one of the roughest boroughs in Brooklyn, and I was sent off to Manhattan, to Washington Heights. And so I lived in Washington Heights, and I was homeless. And the book cover, the actual book cover, I wish I would have brought it. I have it in the vehicle. The actual book cover is Central Park, the fountain.
Oh, okay.
Right? So over here is the fountain, the Central Park, but it's not showing the fountain. But in the new version, they spun me around, and it's facing the fountain. Excuse me. So you can see the fountain, but you could also see the little boy that's sitting there in a crouch position like this, like in a fetal position. And that's the story. That's what the story is about. That little boy that used to sleep there in the fountain as a 10-year-old, homeless. And so the new cover shows it. So from the cover all the way through is symbolic. It all has purpose and meaning. And I done it that way. Like my kids tell me, yo, Dad, you're a good looking guy. You would sell a lot of covers if you show your face. And I said, no, baby, it's not about my face.
He took off the mask.
I took off the mask, but it's about the story. So what I wanted to reveal was that area of Central Park where that little boy slept. And so I had to be facing backward. But it's just a deep story. But going back to the clubs, yes, we are in. But by the way, this is in the ebook format. It's in the. We just finished the audiobook.
You got it on iTunes, Amazon,
KDP,
ACX.
ACX is the
Spanish and
audiobook.
English, both
Spanish
versions?
and English.
Great.
So it's a lot of club scenes, right? But you guys remember, I mean, you would remember, right? Because you're about, same time of what we did.
Baby.
It's about what we've done in the clubs back in them days, right? I mean, listen, truthfully speaking, I'm no saint. I'm not going to reveal everything. But you know that when we went into the clubs, we spent a lot of time in the bathroom. And like we all came out of there, without
Powder in the nose.
Yeah, and medio goggle and stuff. And the girls did the same. It was about passing, the cellophane, the aluminum foil, and it was electrifying. But everyone was doing it. Right. Everyone, including the musicians, they were doing it. Look, I used to be a manager at a club in the Bronx, Rancho Siete, on Kingsbridge Road. And our grand opening was with Hector Lavoe and the Gran Combo. That was grand opening night. And Hector kept me in the office. First he showed up late. And then he kept me in the office because he wanted more and more and more. And it's like, yo, dude, you got to get out there, man. You got to perform. But his thing was getting all... que padre descanse. I love him.
His manager is actually, his ex-manager, Hector Maisonave, is actually a close friend of mine. And he has stories about Hector Lavoe.
That was my friend.
He's going to hear this. He's going to be like,
that was my friend. But it was an electrifying moment. We hopped from club to club to club. And then we went to the after hours, to the Nest, or, the club up at Fordham Row in the Bronx. I forgot the name of that. The Sublime or Sublime, one of those two. But it was night tracks in the Bronx and all of Manhattan, and PC, the square, where they call Herpes Square.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the triangle in the Bronx. It had that name. But, the reality was that it was an electrifying moment of my life. and it was all about clubs.
Yeah.
It was all about clubs. I mean, like 6 days a week. You wake up and back to the club. Shower, dress, eat.
That was how it was back in the days.
Yeah, and it was just it was an exciting time.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I got caught into the game. And so it didn't stop with just the bathroom stuff. It just went on to other stuff. And it just, my life became, unmanageable. I was powerless and I became out of control, totally out of control.
A lot of these cats are not around because of the hard drugs back in those days.
Yeah.
You're blessed. You're still here. You're telling your story. You're giving people hope.
I was actually in Puerto Rico in the Tropicana when Frankie Ruiz was performing, and Hector Lavoe was supposed to perform.
Okay.
Right? When he had that incident that he jumped out,
Oh, yeah.
of the hotel window, and that changed his life totally. But Frankie Ruiz was my friend.
See, VT, he was your brother's friend.
Yeah, that was my friend. I loved them. These guys I followed, and I just love salsa. I love all kind of music, but the salsa circle was big.
Yeah.
It was a big circle and pretty much like a unified circle.
It's like a family, yeah. Now,
Yeah.
even so now, I grew up here in Jersey, but I have a lot of friends, and back in the days, I was a teenager. I'm not gonna lie. I would go to New York maybe for an after hour when I was married already, but it was always the scene, even for us, hey, let's go to New York, here everything closes early, but it was Casa Borinque, all these clubs.
Casablanca.
So it was great.
On and on,
It was
Ochentas,
great, yes.
Club Broadway.
Yes.
You
So
know?
we used to go there now and then, not all the times, but
Yeah.
how I wish I was older to be in that era. Like I told my Sonave, I said, wow, I would have loved to have been, my 20s or something back in the 70s, but I was a teenager.
It was a carefree time where nobody judged. Everybody did their own thing. And the girls walked in with high heels and their best dress. And every club you went to, you thought you was in a fashion show.
Yes.
And it was just so beautiful to watch. Just so beautiful.
Everybody with their fancy, they dressed to the nines. The men too, in suits.
Yeah.
Even the musicians. Nowadays, you don't see that too much, which is, a disgrace on you musicians. I think you should, dress it up because people are paying to see you and they don't want to see you grubby, They want to see you nice. Like back in the days, like people would fill the clubs up.
Yeah.
But that's another story.
Yeah.
I got a little bit off track, but
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not that old either, okay? Look at his young face. Still a kid. I'm actually living now.
yes,
That was when I'm
absolutely.
beginning my life.
Yeah.
This is like the most important part of my life where I come into my own. I've grown up madure.
Yeah.
Now I can say I'm a man. Because all that other stuff with the mask, that was the fear, the a little boy afraid, because I was running,
Yeah.
wearing a mask, pretending to be something I wasn't, and everybody believed me, because I think I played a role
You
that
played
well.
it very well, the character,
But
right?
that's so strange, right? Because I acted in a movie called A Fool's Errand. I'm also an actor, and the guy tells me, wow, you did that in one take, but we're going to do a second take just in case. You said you never acted before? And then I realized, I says, you know what?
My whole life was an actor.
My whole life, I've always acted. So no wonder I can
It
do
was
this role.
natural to
I
you.
played a role that I can do because it was natural. And because I've acted all my life.
Yeah.
And so the movie, yes, to your question, we are in pre-production to a 6-part TV miniseries based on my story. And yeah, there are going to be a lot of club scenes in it.
It's all going to be filmed in New York.
New York and Florida. It starts off in Florida, me as the bounty hunter,
Okay.
and then it goes back in time to the little boy. And then it goes forward. Different stages of my life.
Okay, that sounds really
It's packed with action, man. My story had a lot of action.
Can't wait to see it.
A lot of adventure, a lot of drama, a lot of crime,
So it's going to be in the theater
and a lot of suspense.
or Netflix?
No, it's going to be
or-
on one of the networks.
Okay.
We're still in pre-production, so we got a ways to go. The pandemic really affected us, set us back financially. You know, we lost some investors because of the pandemic, and we lost the whole year, 15, 18 months just about to set us back.
Yes.
So now we're getting on the wagon. But what's most important is the book, because it's here. Something tangible, something people can get, something you can read, because it's never like the movie. The book is
Right.
is the stuff.
That's going to be very interesting too.
And now that you guys heard my voice, when you read the story, you're gonna feel me a lot more.
Is your voice on the audio? No.
You know, I tried that, Margaret.
It's difficult.
I tried that, and just I got $2,000 worth of equipment that I bought.
Wow.
Obsessed with trying to do this right. I set up my office, a room. I made it into a total office. I sealed the whole thing up, and I was still getting sound.
Oh, wow.
And I said, "But coño, how do I get this noise in the background?" So they told me, "Go in the closet." I said, "Dude, I've been in the closet all my damn life. You're gonna tell me to go in the closet?
Come
on,
out to the light.
Come out to the closet."
You should invest in one of these microphones, it's sure. Very good.
Yeah, but listen, I tried it, and I did a couple of chapters, and it took me like 3 months to do a couple of chapters, and I said, I can't do this. So stressed. So I obviously paid somebody professional. And you know how long it took him to do?
How long?
6 weeks.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, well, how long is the book?
The book is 220 pages.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And it got pictures, Margaret.
Yes.
It got pictures, so if you don't like to read, you can listen to the audio, but you could also look at the pictures, because of the pictures tell a story. Let me see if I can tell a story. There go that gangster. Okay? The pictures tell a story. They're different pictures of different times in my life. And, and that's one of the handsome guys with all the muscles back then. Ya estoy flaco, ya no estoy nada. Pero que the story depicts, a lot of the pictures show a time in that, in that time frame, in that era. It's a success story.
Yes, it is.
And what makes it more so is the things I've been able to do and accomplish. Mind blown. Everybody told me you can never do that.
Let nobody tell you you can never do it.
You can never do that. No lo piense. And I've knocked down walls like you won't believe. So my story is a no nonsense, no excuse. No me venga con esa cosa que no puedo, que I can't. No. Read my story, brother. If anybody can, I could have said that. So it's a success story.
If you could do it
That's
from
right.
the depths of where you came from.
Yeah. It's a really
the
dark
darkness,
secret.
because, yes, it's
a
very
really dark story. It's a dark story. Where, there was no hope. I told you I spent most of my life in a prison.
How do you feel now?
Oh, man, you see, I'm so excited. I'm full of life. I'm just excited. I never intended this to be what it's becoming. Never intended it. I only wrote this to free myself. And it started off as a journal. And then my wife actually told me, "Honey, maybe you should keep writing. It sounds good." Because I would, what do you think? And she didn't know my story. So what I gave her was just the good stuff. She didn't know my story. My wife did not know who I really was until later. She read my book and she learned more about me. And she said, "Wow." And we started to cry. She started to cry because of the revelation of stuff, And my family, when they heard it, they started to cry like we didn't know, because yo me
The
fui.
woman you mentioned in your book that held you up.
Yeah,
Hi, Sylvia,
yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, my wife is my backbone. She's the one that held it together. And every time I try to stray and get lost, she knew I was hurting, and she comforted me. When with another woman, I probably would have ran because that's all I do.
Right.
I've used women. I use sex as a weapon to manipulate women, and I was successful at that. And that's all I've done was use people, use women, and break a lot of hearts. Everywhere I went, I was destructive. and I hurt a lot of people, and I had to like make amends to all those women that I hurt. And my wife taught me how to, how to be a man. She tolerated me. I mean, she could have run. She could have said, "Man, this guy is."
That's a good woman.
This guy is crazy. He's nuts.
She knew.
Y no me discute, no me pelea. And that's the only thing that I miss. I miss a deep argument, the drama. And she
Don't
wasn't.
say that.
She wasn't giving it to me. But I didn't realize that I was in
don't
such
need that.
peace. So
You're blessed.
now I
You're
have
blessed
the
with it.
drama, and now I got my new manager is a producer, Maria Barreto.
Hi, Maria.
So I know she's listening. Hi, Maria. I love you. And so we're taking this to another level now. But I didn't expect it to become that, And now it's happening, and it's like I almost don't know how to act.
Yeah.
I was sharing with Maria yesterday. We were at a restaurant, and I was saying that, my wife tells me, "You're an author. Act like one. You're an award-winning author, dude. Act like an award-winning author." And it's like, but how does that person act?
Actúa como gente.
I don't know how to act. So she said, "No, you gotta act important." And it's like, I try to be as humble as I am. I'm not letting this get to me.
Right.
So I'm just a regular Joe.
Let him stay humble.
Yeah, I'm
Let
just
him
a regular
stay humble.
Joe. She wants me to walk in with this glide when I walk into the rooms, like llegué.
Llegó.
But no. I want to remain
Let him
humble.
stay humble. God blessed him, and that's part of being blessed, is staying humble.
And it's about the hope. That's all I want. The story. Look, you got hope over there,
That's
right?
right.
That's
My
Lolita
girl.
Lebron.
No, that's AOC.
ALC. Okay, that's ALC. Looks like Lolita Lebron.
She does, right?
Yes. So it's about the hope. That's all I want to do. I want to help. I want to hope. I want my message to touch people and help change lives. That's my whole purpose. I'm too old right now to concentrate on wealth and fame. God is going to bring that if it's supposed to be.
It's a blessing. You're
I've
gonna
been
get it.
wealthy.
Yeah.
I've had all this money, and it didn't make me happy. There was always this void deep inside that nothing filled it. The sex, the money, the jewelry, the cars, the houses. I've been there, and I still had that void. So I suffered so much. So, I'm not concerned about the money. I'm concerned about the story reaching the mask, and the Latinos where, Latino men and women don't know how to talk about their secrets, about their pain. I'm telling you, it's all right. It's macho, it's manly to tell your secrets, to cry, to reveal yourself, because that's how you move on to the next chapter of your life.
That's how you release all that negativity.
Yeah, the toxicity, the poison, So I don't need that. I feel much better, just being me and where I'm at today.
Your void has been full. You're blessed.
Yeah, not
Happy.
full, but I'm content.
Okay.
I'm content, and every day I pray that that feeling keeps going,
Yes.
because some days
Yeah, we all
I tell you, some days I can be that guy, because I'm not far removed from him. I still know who he is. So at any moment,
It's a
I can go
struggle
back.
for you, right?
It's the struggle. Yeah, it's a continuation. It doesn't change. I didn't arrive. I'm never gonna be there. But every day I ask God to help me be a better person, help me be a good, loving, giving human being. Y con eso me quedo, that sustains me. But I tell you, I can be shaken at any time.
Yeah.
So, be careful, right?
Stay strong, my brother.
Yeah, so,
You don't want
it's
you to
easy.
fall back.
I know
yes.
that guy, though. I'm so familiar with him.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
But it's like anything, like an addiction. You can always fall back. You just have to stay strong.
That's the key word. You'll always remember, because once you do that drug, it comes right back.
Yes.
So once you piss me off,
Yeah.
I can get back to that violent guy.
Yeah.
And I try not to. I try, you stepped on my sneakers, it's all right.
Turn the switch off.
Yeah, they were my new sneakers. But you stepped on it again and you didn't apologize.
Yeah.
Now we got a problem. So
I know. I could go from 0 to crazy too.
yeah.
Sometimes.
My new sneakers on the subway. Come on, guys. Say you're sorry so we can move on.
There's a lot of rude people. I have mellowed out a lot too. I used to have a bad temper. Like right away I would respond. Like you say, somebody
Reactive.
steps on you,
Yeah.
and you're like, excuse me, and they're
Reactive.
like, yeah, you
See,
react
like
to
these
stuff
guys are
like that.
laughing here because they know me, because they've seen when I've thrown chairs and wanted to fight.
Oh,
Wanted to fight for no
Okay.
apparent reason. I want to fight. And
But
so,
that's the anger that's in you
that's the
that
anger.
wanted to come out, and you wanted to take it out on
Yeah,
someone.
yeah.
And sometimes we don't realize that, because I've done that unintentionally. I snap and I'm like, wow, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go there.
Yeah.
But just the moment.
yeah, but look here, it's been over 30 years that I don't visit a prison cell.
That's good. Stay out of.
Over 30 years. So I'm doing something right. I'm doing something right.
That's great. That's great. I am so proud of you. And is there anything else you want to tell our audience about yourself, or?
No, I want you to read it, man. No regrets the journey. But what I do want to say is this.
Somebody try to get into my film.
It's difficult, man. It really is difficult. Most times it's a challenge. But it's better to be on this side than on the other's opposite side. Test yourself. Give yourself a break. Put down the guns, man. Put down your weapons and what I mean with weapons, I mean, not literally the guns or that too, but the anger, the fight within. I built a prison in my mind, and that was the hardest wall to tear down. So I've been through the struggle. I want to tell you young guys out there that you can, if you want to, believe and find a hope. But mostly, never, ever stop dreaming. I'm living out my dreams, and I never thought I could. So don't give up hope. No matter how grim and dark it gets, you can overcome, and you can succeed too. And I leave you with that.
Okay, wise words from a wise man, and I'm glad, and I'm happy, and I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you, a New Yorker that came from like hell, basically.
Yeah, Washington
And-
Heights, we're in the cocaine era. Hey,
And look
South
at you
Bronx,
Now he's a mentor. in
Brooklyn,
you.
Want to give them the website?
East New
Oh,
York,
okay.
Bad Brownsville, Bedford-Stuyvesant, South Bronx. Yes, yes, thank
the
you.
website, yes.
Yeah, the website. My personal website is www.noregretsthejourney, just like the book. My Facebook, please follow me. I have two of them, the same as the title, No Regrets the Journey. And my personal, it's Hector Lafosse, L-A, capital F-O-S-S-E, Lafosse. And so that's my Facebook, and my Instagram, it's No Regrets the Journey. Please follow me. You'll get the updates. You'll be informed. And I would appreciate we could have a dialogue. And if ever you have a situation where I can help you, hit me up and I'll give you a free session. But we are going to be having, we are going to be doing counseling sessions, where I'm going to be charging for the service. But if you hit me up, we can talk a few minutes. I'll give you my time. Okay, it's about sharing. It's about love.
It's all about the love, people.
No regrets the journey, guys.
And on that note, I'm going to give you a public service announcement for my New Jersey people. Please, if you haven't gotten vaccinated yet, go on the website, newjersey.covid19.gov. And you can also call 855-568-0545, and you can get registered and scheduled for an appointment. Please, everybody, be safe. We love you, and thank you for being with us.
One love, guys.
Thank you, Hector.
Much love. Appreciate you all. Thanks.
Bye.
Right, that was great. Good job.